Welcome to FGTN Fishing Gear and Tech News. I'm Alex, your host, and in today's episode, we're thrilled to have Clam Outdoor's special guest Matt Johnson on the stream with us. We're going to be talking about the new 2023-2024 ice fishing gear from Clam Outdoors, and we're going to get the inside scoop to answer all of the questions that you have. So please let us know in the chat who's tuning in. I know we're live on YouTube and Facebook right now. Who's tuning in? Where are you tuning in from? Have you been on the ice yet this year? Are you itching to get out? And then start dropping those questions in the chat for Matt around Clam Outdoors. Excited to chat about that. So now I'm excited to introduce our special guest for the night, distinguished member of the ice fishing community, Matt Johnson. I'm going to have him introduce himself here in just a second. But Matt has a lot of expertise and passion in the sport, and he's positioned very well to answer all of your guys' questions tonight. Obviously working for Clam Outdoors, pro staff director. He does open water guiding. I mean, he's the guy, if you have fishing questions, that you go to. So Matt, I'd like to hand it off to you and see if you can introduce yourself. Tell us what you do at Clam, and I'll ask you to let us know what is your favorite piece of ice fishing gear that you're excited to use this year.
Nice. Well, first of all, Alex, thank you, man. I appreciate what you do. To all the fans out there listening and watching, I hope you support this guy a ton. One thing about Alex I want to say before I jump into the meat and potatoes of this is I see this guy at all the shows, all the events. So he's not just sitting behind his computer screen researching this stuff, typing away. No, man, you're at it and you're engaged with everybody. I think it's cool. I think you've kind of pioneered and blazed a trail in kind of what you do. And so from my perspective, as an outdoor enthusiast and as obviously somebody that works for an industry company, thank you. I mean, you're doing good things for our industry. I think I love your non-biased approach to how you approach everything you do, the good, the bad, the ugly. I think it's pure. And I think if anyone else is out there, man, the industry needs more of what Alex Tim does. So that's my shameless plug for you, my friend.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me on. Yeah, dude, he hit me up a week or so ago, asking what's going on. You want to hop on one of these nights? And I said, yeah, man, let's do it. Let's talk fishing. Twist my arm. Yeah, like Alex said, I'm Matt. I work at Clam Outdoors. I manage all the pro staff, manage ice team. I get to live in this whole world of fishing, especially the ice fishing world this time of year. We were talking a little bit before this went live. It's St. Paul Ice Show week. We're busy. We have 6, 7 semis packed, ready to go. We're starting to unload tomorrow to get set up with this booth. So it is a busy world in ice fishing right now, as anyone knows that's involved. So yeah, fishing guide, been guiding for 23 years. Guide in central Minnesota, Twin Cities area, 60 miles surrounding lakes. I also get to deal with a lot of wonderful individuals on the clam side, networking, promoting, because we all know the word pro staff means promotional. So I get to work with all of these great guys and gals to really send things out in a positive manner and keep people excited about ice fishing. So I'm Jack. Now, one of my favorite things I get to use this year, man, you put me on the spot right away. That's a very tough one. I'm a gear junkie. I know you are, Alex, 100%. You're a big gear junkie, obviously, right? I'm probably, I'd like to say the Tika Flash, one of the new items, but I'm not going to say that because I got to use it last winter, so I already know how it fishes and it darn right catches fish. I'm excited to put some of the new rods to use. I'm a long rod guy. I like using long rods, and we have some 35 and 34-inch noodle rods that are new this year. And I think for my style of fishing, it's great. It's going to cater to my style, my run and gun approach, my get down and dirty. So the longer rods, I think, are good. I think that's going to be exciting. And we plan to do a little bit of ice camping. So the new light system, that Aurora light system, I think is ingenious. I'm excited to put that to use as well. So pumped up, man.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for joining us. You're such a nice guy to talk to. I'm going to pop up on the screen here. If you guys don't know about this, you're really missing out, and you probably haven't seen a ton of my videos yet. So you got to check it out. But Clam has a new website this year that they launched, a brand new UI UX, which is phenomenal, really easy to navigate. But if you go to their website, clamoutdoors.com, and you click on shop up top, they've got a tab that opens up here. It's called new. They actually do have some sale items too. We're going to click on that really quick. So these are deals in Clam. Matt, you may know some of the detail behind the Clam deals here. I
Yeah.
believe some of these or most of these were Black Friday deals that have now extended into
Yep.
Cyber Monday, Cyber Week. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah. There's, I mean, that suit right there, that Edge Parka, Edge X bib, that's the suit I ran the last couple of years. I absolutely love it. That is an insane deal. I can tell you what, as an employee of the company, when that suit was in line, I couldn't get it for that price. Really good price, nothing wrong. And the thing people always think about in sale, they think, they think of going into that retail store. They have like the bargain bin. It's lightly used. None of this stuff you're buying on that page is used. It's just stuff that is not in line this year. It's stuff we have some leftover stock in. Nothing's broken. Nothing's damaged. It's all new product. And you're right. It was a Black Friday special carry over into Cyber Monday, which was yesterday, which I think is getting as big as anything. So some screaming deals. I actually had some close friends hit me up asking about, are those deals real? 100%. I even was like, some of those prices, I was like screaming deals. So it's Christmas stuff for sure. That is 100% legit on what you're looking at.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. So you can see the sale deals here. If we go back to the new tab, you can see they've got a ton of products. This is what, if you guys have questions on them, I know one of the hot items this year that was announced, and I think a couple of your pro staff actually did a lot of the innovation behind the Predator tip up. This is a brand new thing that maybe we're going to talk about here tonight. They've got everything from, like, honestly, maybe one of the simplest products that you guys have, but I'm probably the most excited about is this ball hitch adapter. It's just so simple yet so smart. You've got all the different flapper type style things that you got to bolt on or put below your hitch ball, and this is just simple. You guys have got a lot of really great stuff on here, which I love. So check it out. If anybody's here in the chat, you guys have questions on this, this is what we're going to get through. I know we've already got questions coming in. So we're going to go ahead and jump over to the chat now, and I can pull the website back up as we go. So Matt, first question that we have is from Gates Monuments. Best info on the web. What are the top 5 perch baits?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm a spoon guy when I chase down perch. It seems to be a versatile option. It's a confidence thing. So I'm going to start with the spoon. Depending on the body of water, that will dictate how heavy of a spoon. So the weight of the spoon is really, in my opinion, depth dependent. And it's because I want to feel what's going on. So I want a heavier spoon for deeper water, more control, whatever it might be. Now, perch can be finicky, but that's a whole nother topic. So for me, 5 favorite perch baits, I'm going to probably have a Pinhead Pro. I'm going to have a smaller Tikka minnow and probably like a 16th ounce, maybe a size smaller, size bigger, depending on the depth. That's a run and gun style bait. The new Tikka Flash, I think, catches a bunch of perch. I'm probably going to go with the largest size, 332nd. I am definitely going to take a play out of the panfish playbook and fish tungsten for perch. I think sometimes we fish too big for perch. So I'm going to a tungsten offering. I'm going to put a small plastic on there or even pack it with maggots. I'm going to get down there. I'm going to chase these fish. And last but not least, I think an underappreciated perch bait is to take your favorite spoon and put a dropper on it. It gets down quick. It gets down fast. It's what you want. Most of these bigger perch we're targeting are on that transition line in 30 to 33 feet of water. Most lakes, that's where it is. I want to get down quick. I want to be effective. These perch schools move fast. So that dropper spoon allows me to get that spoon down there. Smaller chain offering, little hook, favorite offering on the bottom of that, and seal the deal. So that dropper spoon is probably that one thing a lot of people, there you go. A lot of things people are not thinking about it. But that dropper spoon or the dropper chain added to your favorite spoon is an absolute perch magnet. It stings them.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I have so many of these dropper chains. It's everything from the epoxy on the treble hook that really, like, this is perfect for even a dead stick at night. Like if you're ice camping or clamping, I think is what the way that you guys call it, right? Like I love these because you still get the action of the minnow a little bit, even if you have it on a heavier spoon or something to get it down there a little quicker and to hold it in place, but yet you get a little bit of motion of the minnow if it's a live minnow. These things are phenomenal. I love them. And the fact that the chain is red is that like bleeding essence to it. These work really well.
Yep. They wanted to come out with something different. That's a new item this year. You have the variations of the epoxy on the bottom as a triggering factor. And you're right, man. You put that live minnow on there, even for crappies. It doesn't have to be for perch, for walleyes, for crappies as well. And it's amazing. It's enough of a tether that they can do their thing, but they can't go too far. It's great as a dead stick. And a little tip, if you fish channel cats, the dropper is absolutely dynamite on some situations where nothing else gets them. So stings them well.
Love it. See, guys, Matt is just dumping out the knowledge for us tonight. I gotta love it. All right, next up, we've got Arlene. Thanks for joining in to the chat tonight. Why doesn't Clam have a cell phone holder for flip over?
Arlene, hopefully you're not asking that because you lost one down the hole, which I know a lot of people have done. We do have a cell phone holder under the Clam Lock lineup now, and a lot of anglers are modifying that to fit inside of a fish trap. You can attach that wherever you want with just a simple U-bolt around a pole. But there is a cell phone now that you'll notice under the Clam Lock. There it is right there that you're pulling up. So that right there would work just fine. You might have to do some modifications for inside your fish trap, but to a hub house, the side of a permanent, easy peasy. But I'm seeing guys and gals starting to use that as an option, as an attachment on a fish trap as well. But that's the closest thing we're going to have right there for holding a cell phone. Or if you have a pair of our ice armor bibs or jacket, all the float options are going to have that waterproof cell phone holder built in on a lanyard. A lot of people put that in there, have it in their bibs, have it in their jacket when they're inside their fish trap as well. They can easily pull it out, still navigate without getting anything wet. And guess what? You can drop it down the hole. So there's an option too as well.
It's great. The one thing that I've seen people start doing is they take the back of the Clam Lock, the hub, the base plate, and you can actually screw it into the lip of your tub on your flip over. So that way it's right there next to you. Put it towards the outside. You can either have it on the outside lip of it, so that way you can do like rod holders and things like that, or on the inside, so that way if it does fall or anything comes off, it'll go right in your tub. So there's a bunch of different options there.
Yeah, good question. Trick your trap.
Exactly, right? Yeah. Adam Borgsdahl, thank you for joining in tonight on Facebook. Do you still guide at all?
All the time. I did a pile of trips this summer, crappies, bass, whatever. I mean, my ice fishing guide trips are not as prevalent as they used to be because of my job at Clam, running the UPL, the Ice Fishing League. But I still do a couple dozen trips a winter. A lot of channel catfish, a lot of panfish. Those are my two main focuses. If you live where I live in the central part of Minnesota, especially the Twin Cities, our walleye game is not on par with where you want to be. But yeah, I still do a handful of guide trips. Fairly booked up. I mean, I book up pretty quick every year because of my repeat clients, handful of corporate deals in the wintertime. But yeah, I still try to get out and guide as much as I can. Still love it. 23 years of guiding. I still find joy in it. I still love seeing people. I love seeing people catch fish. And to be honest, I learn a lot from my guide clients. Some of my guide clients I take fishing, I question why they want me to take them fishing. They should be taking me fishing. So it's still something I thoroughly enjoy.
Love it. Berkeley, thanks for hopping on. I'm going to get the Clam X600 Ice Team. What is the perk for the center pole in the shack, and is it needed for ice camping?
Yeah, so that center support pole is a brand new item that we came out with this year. Honestly, we came out with it for the quick set lineup, which is our screen shelters, because a lot of people will set those up all summer long, and it's rigidity, and it actually goes perfect on top of a picnic table, so it holds that up. And then we thought to ourselves, well, man, this should definitely be something in our lineup for ice fishing. If you're going to stay put for a period of time, and like Alex said, in the ice clamping world of things, like in that picture there with Tate and Matt, it just gives you that extra sense of security, especially at night when you're sleeping. Now, during the day and during fishing, when the conditions are more manageable or you can see what's going on, you can easily remove it. It just slides out and you can tuck it under a cot. But for me, if I'm staying out there all night and I'm going to go to sleep, it's just a peace of mind. Put it up there. It keeps everything tighter and away you go. So is it needed? I guess that's in the eye of the beholder. Me, I get one, I tuck it away if I don't need it. And then if the case where I do, I have it. Pretty simple.
Yeah, I think one of the really cool things, I of course haven't used it in, I haven't done a whole lot of overnight camping in a hub, but even for day trips, if you go out and you're looking at the forecast and you know it's going to be some heavy, wet snow, I've had many times where the hub roof just starts falling in and you got to keep going out and brushing it off. Like this is great for that
Mm-hmm.
too.
Yeah.
In addition to the wind. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's usually those unforeseen circumstances where it's 2 a.m. and you're sleeping in the cot and the wind picks up 35 miles an hour of a different direction. And then there comes
Yeah.
a snowstorm. And that's honestly, I think the best use of it is for those ice camping situations for more of a peace of mind. But if you do have the screen tent, I think it's definitely needed for screen tent, especially if you're going to stay for a period of time camping, doing the RV thing, putting it in your backyard. It's kind of a 1-2 punch there.
Love it. Chantel, what style reel are you using with the long rods? I have an inline reel looking for a rod.
Perfect. So for the reel I'm using, I use inline for sure, and I love it. My favorite reel by far at Clam is the Spooler Elite. Anyone that knows me knows I live with that reel. We've made some phenomenal updates or upgrades to that reel this year, so that's my go-to. Looking for a longer rod, the new 35-inch Katana is probably getting to be one of my favorites. That or the 34-inch straight drop. We have a longer noodle rod in both, and that's been my jam. I love that soft tip so I can see the fish, see the bite, but a solid backbone for hook setting and fighting power. I would say you're going to see Katana 35-inch, straight drop 34-inch noodle. Those are going to be my go-to longer style rods this winter. And they're price friendly. The straight drop is too cheap. I think it's too affordable, in my opinion. It's a phenomenal rod for its price point.
You gotta love when there's that's the problem that you've got. It's too cheap. Love it.
I mean, yeah, it's phenomenal.
Sean and Cora Self, thanks for hopping on. How does the Clam X600 built-in lights connect to a battery?
Super easy. At the end of your lead for the Aurora lights, you're going to have 2 little alligator clips. You can plug it onto an external battery. A lot of power boxes nowadays have 2 leads, positive and negative. You can clip it onto there. Or if you're running a Vexlar or whatever, you can actually clip it right onto that battery. They do not draw a ton of power, so you're not going to kill your Vexlar on a night of fishing. So really any accessory battery is going to work. What I would recommend most people doing is getting an external power box of some kind. A lot of good companies out there. Bold North Outdoors is one of them. Super easy. You can put your favorite amped battery, whatever on the inside, clip to that. Also power your phone, the whole 9 yards. I have a dedicated power box for auxiliary power, like lights, powering my phone, and that seems to be the best route to go. It also is encased in a box so that the outside elements and snow and water and fish and slime don't land on it. It's also a peace of mind there too. So super simple way to power it. It connects to pretty much any battery through those 2 little alligator clips. Pretty simple.
Awesome. Brian is asking, what is your top walleye choice for minnows? Shiners, fatheads, rainbow, or crappie?
Oh man, that's a tough question, and I say that because I'm a little more abstract. Like when I go to Lake of the Woods, for example, number one, I catch a lot of big fish on smaller minnows. Everyone wants to get you the big shiners, all that. I've caught so many big fish on crappie minnows and small fatheads on large panfish jigs. So it depends on the situation. I mean, if you're asking me one, I can only use one of those. I'm probably gonna fish like a small shiner. I think it gives you the versatility on a tip up, on a dead stick. You can use the head. You can do a number of things. So a smaller shiner minnow, especially like a traditional emerald or lake shiner, if you can find those, I think that's going to probably give you your best option at catching a number of quality fish for walleyes.
That's awesome. That's the one I would have chosen out of them too.
Yeah.
I'm a diehard for shiners, but you get to late ice. I mean, they
Mhm.
are hard to come by.
Yep. Hello, fatheads.
Yes,
That's about what
exactly.
that's what you get to play with at that point. But
Yep. All right, Mike Gates, how's it going, man? Thanks for tuning in. New colors on the Clam Rattle Spoon are amazing. I loaded up this weekend, but couldn't find the drop chain. So just a call out for, he's loving the colors and can't find the drop chain. Are they? It looked like they were available on your website.
Yeah,
Anywhere
you
else
can
that
always
you're looking
buy
at?
any of that tackle or anything on clamoutdoors.com. I mean, we want you going to the retailer, supporting the retailer. These guys and gals out there on the front line are doing their thing, and some retail stores carry some stuff, some don't. I mean, the best thing to do if you're going to swing by a retail store, there's something you really want. I always just say, phone them. Hey, fishing department, do you have the clam dropper chains, this and that, or what colors do you have? That's the best thing. But like Alex said, worst case scenario, hop on the Clam website. I know they're there. You can buy some up and be dialed in. But thank you. The new Rattling PT spoon, you are spot on, Mike. It is one good looking spoon. And it catches fish. Got to use them a little bit last year. They downright catch fish. It'll be tied on. I'll be on Lake of the Woods in a few weeks, hopefully. And I'm going to be catching them on a Rattling PT spoon.
Love it. Yeah. I picked up, I think one of every color and size that you have.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so excited about that spoon. I've got a video coming out in the next couple of weeks here with all the things that I've picked up at the shows so far. I was doing it. It's usually a hit, and it's just insane. It's one of those things. I think I have a problem. I see something I really like in terms of a lure or a bait or something, and it's like, oh, I'm only going to pick a couple up. Only a couple of them. And then so I get a couple of them, and it's like, but what about the smaller size or the bigger size if I need that? And it's like, but if this color is really hitting, then I need it in all the sizes and all the variations. And then I get them all, and then I end up using like 2 of them all year. And I have, this large assortment that I just get to look at, but I don't ever use. So
I think we're all victim of that. I mean, I will got to have them all. Got to be dialed, and then you find your favorite colors, this and that. But then there's that one day where you're fishing on Mille Lacs, whatever, and your buddy's like, "Oh yeah, the all gold with red speck is crushing. Do you have?" I don't have that, So you always do what if. Yeah, and it's a good looking spoon. That painted treble is a fish catcher and a tractor at the same time.
Love it. All right, Scott. He got a clam float suit for steel last year, so much warmer than his old gear.
Awesome.
So it's great. James has got a question here. Matt, wondering if you would rather stand in your snow dog sled or choose to sit in the seat. Myself, I stood all last season, didn't put my seat on at all.
I prefer to stand. I mean, the seats are fairly comfortable. I mean, I have a seat on one of my sleds. I run 2 snow dogs, 4 sleds, 2 sleds for each, just the way I roll with my system. And I have a couple seats. They tend to go on the second sled for any passengers. And if I'm on a long run, if I know I'm going to rip out like 2 miles straight across the lake, the seat's comfortable for just sitting down. I can navigate. I can maneuver better standing up. And I always tell people, we've all done it. Every one of you watching can raise your hand. You have your little toboggan sled as a kid, and you stand up on it, you go down the hill, and you surf. Every time I get on that snow dog, I stand on that thing, I push the throttle, I smile. So for me, I'm standing up. I'm also a very high-strung ice angler. I got to run and gun, move, be doing things, so I feel quicker when I can just whoop, hop on there, stand, rip away. So for me, if I could pick one, I'm definitely standing way more than I am sitting down.
Awesome. Love it. I was going to ask, so there's a few brands that I see you and a lot of the staff use a lot. So Vexlar, K-Drill, the Snow Dog sleds. How does that work with Clam? Are you guys just like the 2 companies have come together, or the multiple companies have come together and said, let's help promote each other? How does that work? I've always wondered.
Yeah, a combination of a number of things. I mean, we have a partnership with a bunch of brands through our division called Ice Team. So there's a brand within a brand called Ice Team, where it's intended to be the educational arm of the ice fishing industry, is where we're out there just kind of talking about fishing, getting people excited, more tips, more tell, not sell. And we have partners through Ice Team, like a Vexlar, like a K-Drill, like a Snow Dog, a number of other different brands that are on board that set up. So it's pretty fun, pretty exciting. I mean, we try to stay on the forefront of the educational side, also on the newness side. Like this year, there's a brand new partner called Freeze Armor. It's a heated gear bag. I mean, it's super cool stuff. So it's always fun. So yeah, we get to work with these companies, which I think is awesome. We get to work with the R&D side of things, the staff, the owners, the corporate office, their pro staff. So it's all one happy family. It's trying to grow the sport, make that pie bigger for everybody, strengthen numbers. So that's kind of where some of those partnerships come into play. It's a whole lot of fun. I mean, it brings a new dynamic to everything we do. Really cool technology for ripping around the ice. You stand up on this thing called a snow dog, and people look at you and think you're funny and goofy. Then they hop on it and they go, "This is the coolest thing ever. I'll give it back to you in an hour." Really fun. Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question. A lot of fun partnerships we get to play with.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Kenneth is asking, we have ice here in Illinois today. That's awesome. I'm actually surprised that far south you guys already have it. I don't even have it on the lake near me right now, so I'm a little bit jealous for sure, but hopefully we get out here soon too. What is your go-to plastic and color, Matt?
There's two that I lean on a lot because of my aggressive tactics and how I like to move a lot, even for negative fish. I probably use either a Mackie minnow, a regular minnow, and a white with red or a glow pink, or I use Poly XL because I can fish that as a big profile. I can take that ball off and fish it as a leaner profile, and then from there, color doesn't matter as much. I like to fish a dark jig head and a light body, or a light jig head and a dark body. I like that contrast. So a black drop kick, chartreuse plastic, for example. So those will probably be two of my go-tos that I feel like on any given day, I can get some fish to eat it.
Love it. We've got a follow-up question here on the Snow Dog I wanted to pop up. Did Snow Dog stop making the compact version, and will the new storage box fit it in my compact?
I do not believe they stopped making it. Don't quote me on that. I'll get to see their team again this weekend at the St. Paul Ice Show. I know, like, literally the guy that designed it will be there, Dimitri. So I don't know if they stopped making it. I believe they still make it. And the new storage box, again, I'm not sure exactly. It is specifically designed for the space, like on a sport. So I have not compared the two side by side. So if that is a smaller space, it will not fit. I'll just call it out right now. It is really specifically designed to fit in that space on, like, let's say the sport model. So my gut's going to tell me it's probably not going to fit on the compact edition, unfortunately. But I can get a solid answer for you if you want to follow up with me this weekend. Or honestly, Snow Dog's got a Facebook page. Swing over there, throw them a message, and see if they can answer that question. They're probably better equipped than I am. The models I run, it fits it just fine. I run two sport models. The compact, not entirely sure, to be honest, Mark. Sorry about that, bud.
Good question, though. Here's a good question. So from Matthew, thanks for the question. As an ice fisherman and a clam ambassador, do you use other rivals' products that you think are superior?
Sure, I've done it before. I mean, we want to come up with the best stuff we can at Clam, obviously, all the time. We want to push that needle, but we also understand that there's other brands that do some things better than us, right? There's certain things, certain categories that things can play nice with. I use some spinning reels from certain companies. There's some lures that certain companies make that we don't dabble in, that things that work like that. So yeah, I think there's certainly some things that other brands bring to the table that do a really good job at. I have some of them in my arsenal. I try my best to promote as much of the clam stuff as I can, but at the end of the day, anyone that knows me, whether it's my friends, my family, my clients, they know I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to be upfront. I'm going to be honest. And yeah, there's certainly some stuff that from Clam that I'm probably not using all the time. So it's just kind of the world we live in. If you look at my kids' arsenals, cornucopia. Like they walk into a retail store and the first cool lure that catches their eye is probably in the basket, whether it's a rod or whatever. So, and that's the beauty, that's the pureness of some of these young kids, is that they still get gravitated towards the thing that looks cool. And they might be educated that it doesn't work as well as you go down the highway of learning. Mm-hmm. But that's the beauty of the sport. And anyone that knows me, I definitely don't sway my kids away from that. I want them excited. I want them using stuff they get excited about. And it very well might not be something that says Clam, and I'm okay with that. And I think that's what keeps them interested and engaged in the sport. But good question, man. Glad you asked it.
Thanks for it. See, Matt is not afraid of the tough questions, which I really appreciate. Not that I'm asking us to challenge him tonight. I think that there's plenty of other questions around clam stuff that we can keep asking, or his professional expertise opinion. Like, here's one that I had on my list. I put a list of questions together just in case I got a chance, but you guys have a ton of them, and I want to answer your questions first. And I doubt we're going to get through them. We'll have to wrap up here for sure within the next 30 minutes, but keep them coming. I'm trying to go through the list and pick out the ones that I see. So keep them coming. But this Logan asked, has the X1200 been covered yet? And the answer is no, we haven't talked about it. But Matt, I'm interested. I have so many questions around this, but we don't need to get into it super deep tonight. But my questions that probably Logan is interested in, and a lot of other people as well, is where did the idea of the X1200 come from? And how does a product like this become an exclusive to a specific retailer? I mean, it's not even on Clam's website. Tell us the story if you know.
I know. So first of all, it's an OEM product. And what that stands for is a retailer can work through us to develop a product that Clam produces that is exclusive to them. You might see certain colored lures, fish houses, suits. Then that's really cool. So Shields, which is a huge partner of ours at Clam, and I think many of you know who they are and you probably stop at their store. They came to us with that idea. It was actually the Shields ice fishing buying staff that was like, what if you took two X600s and put them together and made a fish house? And you can't challenge our R&D department at Clam because they're just going to step up and accept the challenge. It's just kind of how they're wired. They love it. The thing is ginormous. And to be honest, I can't even get one. Like, I have to go to Shields and purchase one. I can't even buy one as an employee of Clam to have in my personal arsenal. So that's how exclusive it is. So everyone thinks, oh, you have these special privileges. I can't get this. It is massive. It is so cool. I've seen them set up. They are fun. If you're into the ice camping thing, 100% something you should look at, because I would dedicate one whole side to camping and one whole side to fishing. And you're set up. You're ready to rock. It is the ultimate party shack too. So if you're that younger generation that wants to get out there with their buddies at the college scene and you want to be the hero right out of the gate this winter, like, you should run to Shields, pick one of those up, invite 8 of your buddies, 10 of your buddies to go fishing with you, and have them go, can we outfit in your fish house? And you can go, man, yeah. And you bring out the X1200. So great idea by the Shields team coming up with our sales staff, probably in a meeting. Can you do this? And I'll tell you what, it's a cool shelter. And I think these exclusives are neat. I think it's fun. You know, the Crappie Chronicles have an exclusive pinhead at Thorn Brothers. You know, Shields has things like this. Todd at Dakota Angler has exclusivity on things down by him. There's all kinds of stuff, different locations that do that. I think it's so neat. And it gives that retail store something to own, right? It's kind of that personal. We got this, you don't. I think it's neat. I think it's fun. It's edgy. It keeps everyone thinking on their toes. And I think it's one of the things that makes the industry fun. So,
I
yeah,
love
and
it.
it's got the big door there on the end. It's the max entry door system, which is brand new this year from Clam. I love that door system. It is super cool. But that 1200, the tough thing is you're not going to see it on display at a Shield store. It's just too big. But I'm telling you, it is something sweet. Definitely something to consider if you want that ultimate big, fully insulated fish house that packs into one nice, neat bag. That's it. That's where it's at.
I would say, I don't know if there's any more happening, but if you have a Shields by you and they haven't done their Ice Fest yet, which I think they're maybe all done with now, but
there's some left. Yeah,
there are some left.
Yeah,
That's
I don't think there's any
where
left in. Mankato's got one this weekend. Otherwise, I think the rest are out of state, like Sioux Falls, the store in Colorado. But yeah, most of the ones locally, if you're watching from Central Minnesota, they've already rocked and rolled. But they're still rocking them. The thing about this though, and the thing about all of these exclusives, is they go quick.
Yeah.
And I'm not in here to be selly. If you know me, that's not my intention. But if there's anything you ever want in the world of ice fishing, whether it's a Clam product or someone else, you buy it. And I think we've conditioned ourselves the last few years to see that, because things sell out quick in ice fishing. So if this is something you got your heart set on, waiting to the 3rd week of December could be a bad choice, because there's a good chance it'll be gone. I'm just being a realist. It's just kind of how the world works now. So
some of these questions are interesting that they have on here. How many ice anchors do you need? It comes with 18 anchors. Can you imagine putting 18 anchors down around for your one hub?
Yeah.
The wood burning stove idea is like, that's actually a good idea. Have you guys talked about that or thought
Oh, yeah.
about that in your
Many
home?
times we've talked about, putting an event someplace. A lot of guys or gals will do it themselves and they'll cut out an event and kind of make their own port. The biggest thing we think about when we design any products, and anyone that's watching that is involved in that process understands this, it has to be something that a majority of people want to gravitate to.
Yeah.
Alex and I might think that this next thing is the coolest thing since sliced bread, but if the consumer in the retail store doesn't see value in it, or they don't see the opportunity to sell to a pile of people, then usually it doesn't come to fruition. So some of the greatest ideas I've seen just never come to the market. Not saying that's one of them, but there is a market of people with ice clamping taking over a lot of people's minds that I think in the future you could see some more things cater to that style of ice fishing for sure.
Love it. All right, we're going to go to the next thing here, but what I will say is that if you do have an ice fest near you, I know the Eden Prairie one I went to, which is the closest Shields to where I live, they actually had one of these set up because they usually do it in like a big tent outside, at least
Yeah.
in a lot of the ice fest shows that they did. If it's connected to a larger building, sometimes they'll do them inside. I think Fargo had one of these set up as well. So that may be your opportunity. Visit their ice fest. If there's one going by you, you can actually see these in person. I walked into it and I was just elated. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And I was like sitting there, like thinking in my mind, I need this. What will I use it for? And I couldn't think of a reason why I would ever use it. And so I didn't get it. But it was, at least at the Eden Prairie show, I'm not promising you any deals, but it was $100 off at the Eden Prairie Shields during their Ice Fest sale.
Okay.
So make sure if somebody here is interested in it, go to an Ice Fest coming up. That may be your opportunity to get a deal. Again, it's worth the $1,000. I talked to a couple people at Shields when I was there, and they said these are going to sell out very, very quickly, even at full price. So get it if you want it. Yeah. Cool. Next question we have, Mike Gates just bought the X400 Ice Team Edition. Any suggestions on how to keep those windows looking new and not fogging up?
I mean, there is a spray material that some people are using. I don't remember what it is at the top of my head. We talked about it in an R&D meeting a couple months back. We even looked at possibly packaging it under a Clam name of some kind. I don't remember what it's called, but there is something you can spray on there to keep them from fogging up and from getting whatever messes and blahs. I mean, the biggest thing is probably keep them clean while you're fishing. I mean, the more you can keep your gear in order, the better it's going to be longevity, no matter what it is. So I find myself oftentimes wiping windows. I clip a couple, a lot of the towels nowadays have those little plastic clips. I clip one near some of the windows, near some of the poles on the windows that I can easily wipe off. I mean, sometimes it's going to fog up. The difference in heat, the difference in temperature, there's some things we just can't control. Some of that's unavoidable, but I find myself using like a microfiber towel and on occasion just walking around, wiping them down, keeping things consistent is probably your best. But there is a material out there, a spray of some kind that people are putting on them for those TPU material type windows. I just, for the life of me, can't remember the exact name of it.
Love it. Good question. I know a lot of people have that question. We've got Brandon asking, is there a way to make my flip over pull easier on the ice? Any tips or tricks?
I mean, the first thing I tell anybody is to get a set of good runners or high facts. That will definitely help that slide a little easier. Some people are adding a set of skis, Smitty's sled, the Smitty's sled phenomenon. You can see groups popped up on social media specifically around it. They're going to a secondhand thrift store, a used sporting goods store. They're buying an old set of downhill skis, they're rigging them up, and then that's an ability to put them on there so you can slide it around easier. Eliminating the amount of surface area that hits the bottom of the lake, especially when there's snow, will help it slide easier. If you're pulling by hand, one thing I've learned that I think is underappreciated is a harness. When you're pulling with one hand and you're walking, it's taking away a lot of the power from your body, your core, your leverage for pulling this on the ice. There's a harness out there that we make at Clam, a sled pulling harness that goes over you like a backpack. You hook it on, longer rope, longer lead rope. It is amazing how much easier you can pull with that harness. It truly is. And I've even seen some people go as far as getting like a set of cross-country ski poles. If this is truly their mode of transportation, I'm walking out every time I go fishing, and sometimes I'm walking out long distances. They'll get a set of secondhand cross-country ski poles. And now they're going from spot to spot with their poles. And now they're just giving even more leverage. So those are some efficiencies I think you can gain with some of the gear choices, or modifying your sled to some capacity without truly breaking the bank. I think you can buy an old set of skis at a thrift store or a secondhand sporting goods store for pretty inexpensive. And with a little bit of modification in your garage, you probably could have that looking the way you want it. So those are just a couple ideas that pop up in the top of my head.
And those are good ones. The Smitty sled is 100% like going to be the most reduction in friction that you're going to see,
Yeah,
because to exactly what Matt was talking about, you're reducing the surface area, the surface friction, by having less touching the ground.
absolutely.
Like I've got a few years ago, I had a 3-man sled loaded with gear and a huge hub, all on a Smitty sled, a homemade one, because there's not like that could be a market that Clam could get into, is building Smitty sleds and selling those. Like I think there's something there. I saw a few guys on Facebook Marketplace trying to do it. But they literally will take it from feeling like you're pulling 200 pounds to like you're pulling 25. Like it's pretty incredible. And plus you can build them so that there's a rise on them above the skis. And so that way you can clear some snow too. Hopefully the skis ride on top, but even if they go down a little bit, you still have that clearance. So yeah, Smitty sleds are awesome too. And if you pair your Smitty sled with a sled pulling harness, I mean, you won't even feel it back there. You'll just be like,
going downhill, you make it run over.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Especially on bare ice. Yeah. All right. Preston's asking, Clam Deluxe lithium rechargeable aerator, which is a fantastic aerator. Is there a replacement battery?
I don't believe so. I think it's all kind of built into itself. I'm not aware of a battery. I don't know if it's even recommended that you take the battery out of that. I think it's all enclosed. So I'm not aware of a replacement battery, to be honest. I think you just plug it in when you're done. It's got pretty long life cycle. We have a lot of guys that use them in the boat. They use them on the ice. They use them for a number of different things. I've also seen people use them to keep their holes open. They put them on their Vexlar. Like they take out the plastic holder and they put the batter, our aerator there, and then run the cord down their hole, and it bubbles up and it keeps their hole from freezing up too. So you're seeing multi-use with these aerators now, not just for keeping minnows alive, but for keeping your hole from freezing over, or your tip up. They're putting them on their tip up to keep that from freezing over for a period of time as well. But I'm not familiar with the replacement battery for one of those.
Yeah, no, I've done some side-by-side testing on these. I'm trying to find it and I can't right now, but I'll add it to the chat after. Depending on when you got it, they have, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but look at the warranty on it. I know it's got at least a 1-year warranty. It may be longer than that. Clam is great about their customer service. So just reach out to the team if you're having an issue with it and you bought it pretty recently, and I'm sure they'll help you out too.
Yeah, spot on. Yeah, if you definitely have something within any of our warranty standards, hop on the website, reach out to customer service. There's a really simple warranty form. I mean, our team is spot on. They're dialed. You're going to call somebody that fishes, which I think is wonderful. One of our customer service representatives. We actually have a gentleman on our pro staff that works in our customer service department, which is cool. The head of customer service, she fishes as much as any of us. So you're going to talk to somebody that gets it, not somebody that's like, not even sure what it's used for, but here's what we can do for you. No, not the case at Clam. So highly reach out to customer service if you ever have any issues with anything.
Awesome. Good question, Preston. Hopefully you get it resolved. All right. Bayside Exterior Washing. Thanks for joining. What's the difference between the Legend XT Ice Team and the Jason Mitchell Legend XT?
It's going to be, the footprint's going to be the same size. They're going to have the same fishable area, the fishable space. They're going to weigh roughly the exact same. You're going to have different cosmetics. The ice team's going to look a little different than the Jason Mitchell on the outside, the tent. They're also going to come with different accessories. So the Legend Ice Team is going to come with your battery bracket, your light bar, and your travel cover. The Jason Mitchell, don't quote me on it, but that's going to be a Shields exclusive. It's going to come with a cover and a couple other different accessories. I'm not exactly sure which ones. If you go to the Shields website, it will list them out. But it's going to come down to the accessories that they come with. Those are going to be your main differences. But in terms of their fishability, they're both going to be the same size, same footprint. But it comes down to the accessories, and it depends on what you want.
Good question. Yeah, the thing that I like about Clam I've talked to a lot of people about this is Clam has so many different versions of their flip overs and their hubs. And it's great because you can really find one that fits your exact needs because there's such a large variety.
Mm-hmm.
It can sometimes be a little bit overwhelming, no doubt, when you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, they've got, like, I was looking at one man's last year. I was in the market for a one man. I picked one up and I'm using the X100 Pro XT thermal,
Mm-hmm.
with the tall and whatever. I love it, but there's like 3 or 4 different one mans, whereas you look at the competition and they maybe have 1 or 2, but
Yeah.
it allows people to figure out what they're looking for in it and truly buy one that's going to be customized to them. And then you can go ahead and do your trick your trap to
Yeah.
it and really make it your own, which I know I really love.
And that really comes down to our pro staff, where a lot of our pro staff have their different ways of doing things. And the beauty of a pro staff is if you're not listening to your pro staff as a company, then what's the point? So we listen to all of them, and everyone has their nuances and different things that they like. And we feel strongly that if they feel strongly, then we're going to be able to sell them, and people are going to kind of gravitate towards one style or the other. But you're spot on. It comes down to a number of things: weight, how you transporting it, where are you storing it, what do you do with it? Are you walleye fishing? Are you pan fishing? Are you a flip and go guy? Do you like to stay put? All these questions come into play when you're helping somebody pick out the right fish trap.
All right, we're getting down there. I like to keep these to a tight 30 to 60 minutes. We're going to answer 3 more questions and we're going to wrap it up.
Sure.
See, we've got about 137 people here, so I'm gonna pick them from the chat. So if you have a burning question you got to get asked and answered, drop it in the chat, and you may be one of the lucky ones that I'm gonna pick it out for. But this is the next one, so there'll be 2 after this. This is from Ken. What is your opinion on the hub insulated floors? Is it worth the effort in dollars?
I'm torn on that, to be honest. I mean, they're nice when you get them all set up and you get them comfy. I mean, it's nice to be able to, clean them off a bit, walk around in socks. The insulated floor definitely keeps in some of the heat. I mean, if you're going to plan on really doing the ice camping thing, and that's going to be your jam most weekends, then some type of floor is absolutely necessary. The insulated floor from Clam rolls up, it packs down pretty neat. It's pretty efficient. Some stores still have them. They're selling out super quick. But I think a floor of some kind is necessary if you're doing the ice camping.
It's this quick set floor, right?
No, that one is going to be that's going to be the tent version, yeah. So I think the winter floor from Clam is actually something we've gone away with, but some retailers still have them. And the big reason we've gone away from them, to be honest, is that the do-it-yourself models you just can't compete with. People are going into Menards and for $50 they're buying those foam floor mats, laying them out. And now for a fish trap for $50, steal of a deal. We got some left. Those are all on sale. So you're going to see Clam kind of gravitate away from the floor options. With the ever-changing shacks, it's always hard to stay caught up on everything. So great floor. I've been in them. They work wonders. If you can find one, you're probably going to find a good deal on it. I'd buy it up. They work great. But a lot of people now are just turning towards the do-it-yourself stuff. Hard to compete with that.
Good question. All right, I like this one. All right, there'll be one more after this. I'm checking the chat, so get them in there. Jason White Outdoors asks, what's the one new fishing gear upgrade you think is a must this year if money wasn't an issue? Dream big.
I mean, you got to put the quotate or the parentheses in there. If money wasn't an issue, dream big. I mean, I'm going to tell you what, like I was at the Blaine show weekend, like 2 weekends ago, and the Hardwater Expo, and my wife and kids were all with me for a period of time. We wandered over lunch. And I mean, I think if you already have, I see upgrade, that means you already have a bunch of stuff. So our wish list in the next few years is to get a drop down fish house, like a substantial size one that we all can hang out in. My wife loves to fish. It's not her passion, so she's not going to sit out there all day. But if we had a drop down fish house with TV, and something to drink and something to eat and this and that. Same thing with my daughter and some of my boys when they don't want to always be out there. To me, that's something cool. And you go big or go home. You get the air conditioner, you get the whole 9 yards. You do it up. So, but if that's dreaming really big, if it's not, to me, the clamping scene, I think that's a big upgrade for a lot of people, is for a much cheaper price than a drop down for 40 grand. For $1,000, you can get an X600 cots, everything you need for $1,000 to go ice camping that way. So I think for a lot of people, that's probably that cool upgrade, is to take your ice fishing game to the next level, camp on the ice. And I think you'll find out it's super fun. And you'll find out that at about 1 a.m, the crappies bite again. I'm telling you, little known fact that people never think about. At about 1, 2 a.m, they cycle back through and they bite again. And we always miss that bite because we're sleeping.
Exactly right. Yeah, I can't tell you how many lakes I've been on where people tell me there's no night bite here. And like, I'm the kind of guy, like if I'm going to stay out overnight on the ice, like there's social gatherings where you go out with your guys and you have your fun, right? But if I'm going out, I'm fishing, right?
Yeah.
So I've got my lines down at night. I'm ready to go. And there's so many lakes that they're like, there's no night bite in that 1 to 3 a.m. window. I don't know what it is, if they just filled up for the night or they're headed to their next spot to go and do a little bit more feeding before the sun comes up, or whatever it is, their midnight snack.
Yeah.
But they come through, and I've caught 2 PB in a row walleyes between 2 and 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. So make sure, yes, if you are staying out there overnight, make sure you got your set lines down. Make sure you got a rattle reel or some line alert or something out there, because that's where we can get the big ones. But absolutely. I'm excited. Have you looked at any specific brand or anything you got your eye on, or still early?
No, I mean, we started looking through them. They're all nice.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in a generation now where these guys and gals that run those companies, they're pretty dialed. I mean, I looked at probably 4 or 5 different brands that weekend in a 20-minute window where I'm like, I'd be happy with any one of these. Like, it's they all kind of got it going on. I think we looked at I don't know, Ice Cave, Glacier, of course, Ice Castle, a number of different brands. And I'm like, I told every one of the guys that ran those shops, I'm like, nice work. Like, you guys should all be proud. Every one of these looks phenomenal. Nicely done.
Awesome. All right. Last question. There's a few good ones into here, but we're going to pick this one because I think it's a good transition to, hopefully after this episode, everybody's thinking about this weekend, trying to find some safe ice. Safe ice is important. Mm-hmm. Ice safety. Make sure you've got your ice picks with the buddy system, the rope, your ice scratchers or spikes. You got to be safe. And I think one of the ways nowadays, with the way technology and gear has gone, is there's the float suits that are out there. And that's really an amazing safety net. And they're not nearly as bulky as they once were. So to Daniel's question, for you, Matt, if there was one suit to have most of the ice season, which suit, in your opinion, is it and why?
I'm running that new Delta suit this year, and I'll give you my reasons. I wore the Edge X suit. You saw that earlier in the sale. That's Blackfish gear meets ice armor. It's so comfortable. I love it. But the Edge X suit didn't float. The Delta suit is basically an Edge X float suit. It's so comfortable. It's so warm. It feels like a sweatshirt. It's a soft touch material, and it's got that nap line fleece on the inside, that thermal snare fleece, the same thing you have inside, like your storm skin Gale pullover that everyone wears on Blackfish. That's me right there.
Oh, that's you right here in this picture?
Yeah, check that out. Yeah, that was a snowstorm on Leech last year. Yeah, I was running that suit all last year, playing with it for a couple of weeks, and I'm like, I'm not a suit guy. Anyone that knows me, I'm a bib and I'm a Blackfish top, and I'm like, this suit is amazing. But one cool thing about that I think this suit is really neat, other than it being a float suit, it's comfortable, it's got all the bells and whistles, is that we partnered with Folds of Honor. And you'll notice a series of our suits and some of our products, you'll see the Ice Ops insignia on the sleeve and the Folds of Honor insignia on the other. And what that means is these products, a portion of the proceeds goes back to Folds of Honor, which supports our veterans. It supports scholarships for veteran families that may have lost a loved one, a number of different things. A wonderful organization. So you're kind of giving back to some capacity. So the Delta suit, while it's an amazing suit, it's awesome. It also has some real good feel good stuff going with it. So for me, that is the suit I'm running this winter, 100%. I'll have it on. And it seems to be a fan favorite lately. A lot of our pros are going to run it. We've sold a bunch of shows. I'd check out the Delta suit. You got a murdered out black version. That's what I'm going to rock. And then you got the cool kind of drab army green there. Neat looking suit, well built, wonderful suit.
I've had my eye on this suit every show that I've gone to, and I'm like, I've got too many suits.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I got like you said, that interior on it is so phenomenal. It helps put money towards a great cause. I think you convinced me. St. Paul show, I think I need to pick one up. So thanks for that. So Matt, as we wrap it up and land the plane here, I just want to say thank you so much for all you do for the ice fishing community. You're always one of the first guys out there talking about ice season, which, I mean, this year I think I started talking about it in July. I was so excited about it, and people were talking about gear. But in terms of bringing it up and then being consistent with it, and hopefully you're going to have a lot of success on the ice this year, let everybody know, where can they follow you if they're interested in following along on your journey?
Yeah, I mean, you can just go to Matt Johnson Outdoors on any social media platform. You'll find me. Excuse me. Ask questions, follow along. I'm doing a lot of stuff with Clam Outdoors Ice Team. Obviously, if you're at the show this weekend, come by the booth, say hi. I'd love to meet some of you. We have a amazing breadth of pro staff coming this weekend from like 17 different states in Canada. So come by, talk to one of these many experts that love to talk fishing. They're approachable. But yeah, hit me up on social media. And if you see me at a show and you don't say hi, well, I hope you do, because, you twist my arm real quick about talking a little bit of ice fishing, and I might give you a spot or two. You never know. I've been known to do that, guilty as charged. So
there we go.
Yeah, pretty easy.
All right. Thanks, Matt. And then we can't forget this to wrap it up. Happy birthday, Dave Gens.
Happy birthday to Dave.
Birthday, isn't it?
Yeah, Dave's birthday today.
That is awesome.
He's a young man. He's I think 32 years old now. So no, Dave is a blessing for sure. He's an ice fishing sainthood, and he'll be there this weekend. You can come see Dave, meet Dave, get a picture, get an autograph. And it's also the 30th anniversary of the St. Paul Ice Show this weekend too. So a lot of cool stuff going on.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you everyone so much. Until next time, take it easy.